I think we should be live. Guys, if we are live, can someone just drop a message or something? All right, there's literally no way for me to check without compromising my stream key. So I'm just gonna pretend everything is going on nicely. It is live. Okay, there are like 9 people. My streaming software is chugging along. Also, the latency is gonna be pretty shit. Well, it's been more than 20 seconds. I can curse now. Okay. We will start with a few things. 9 people. Okay. Someone random just show. I don't know if that's a random person. I'm really sorry if that's not a random person, but your username looks very random to me. So yeah. Guys, can someone just tell me if the stream quality is good enough? Like, can you read the text on the screen? If you are on your mobile phone, please just go to like 720p. And hopefully it's like visible. Also, the stream is not on it's on low latency, it's not on ultra low latency, but it should be fine for all intents and purposes. Yeah. It is visible. It is visible. Yeah, 720. We are capping ourselves at 720 and 30 frames per second. I know it's not ideal, but I'm streaming through a freaking MacBook, guys. Come on, give me a break. So, yeah. Not only that, I don't have a multiple display. That I can do that at work. I can't do that here, So, yeah, compromise where it's possible. Okay, fair enough. Let's just start. Okay, enough chit chat. Enough. Whatever. Let's just go through this. I'm gonna keep the live chat open. If I miss something, guys, just I don't know, maybe drop me a text on WhatsApp. Actually, don't do that, but whatever. What about gaming tower, Suraj? I need money for that. Okay, I mean, we will talk about cybersecurity and money and whatever everything all around it. But yeah, we will figure it out. Okay, so let's start with the start. The first thing is I have I swear I have yeah, I have Obsidian here. Hopefully it's visible. Yeah, Suraj, okay, whatever. Cool. Okay. So, 5 main topics that we'll be going through today. The first of all is, why did I leave teaching? A lot of you don't have any idea that I have left teaching. So, first thing is, I don't teach anymore. Well, not in the official capacity. So, I don't teach at any universities at the moment. So, I mean, I guess that answers the question. But we'll be going in depth. A lot of people had questions that, okay, what do you do now? In fact, I haven't taught since, well, what, the last 3 months. But we will go into that storyline. The second thing is, what is the future of cybersecurity? Now, this is something that I'm interested in because lately I've been having conversations with people, and a lot of people are confused that, okay, what should we do, sir? About 6 semesters completing, my 4th semester is completing, my classmates are getting jobs and internships, and I'm not getting anything, or what should I do, or whatever. We'll be discussing that. Don't worry about it. The third topic is East Studley podcast. Now, this is something the OGs, the people who are following since a long time, they might know what I'm talking about. It's basically, I'm thinking to maybe bring back the East Studley podcast, where I can just sit around and have fun. I can ask questions. We have guests usually on the podcast. Sometimes we talk about gaming, sometimes we talk about tech. I don't know. I am recently thinking maybe I can have a guest from who is who is not exactly in the tech field, but they work for one of the big companies. I have a few friends, so maybe I can invite them on the podcast, and maybe we can get their perspective on if cybersecurity matters to them or not. So there's that. Fourth is note taking, which no one asked for. I mean, there are a few people who care about note taking, but that's the fourth topic. And the fifth one is, well, sir, please update this live on YouTube. Bharat, I have no idea what you're talking about. This is live. We are updating live. I hope we are live. Anyways, so the fifth thing is Git versus GitHub. Also, I forgot to mention scam baiting here. So there's that. Git versus GitHub. I just wanted to initially do a very simple, tutorial slash explainer on what is Git, what is GitHub, why do we care about it, and all of that stuff. And eventually scam baiting, because I recently posted on my Instagram and a lot of people have been asking, hey Aman, how did you hack those scammers? Well, it wasn't a webcam, but their front camera. And what is going on? How can we do that? So yeah, we'll be doing that. We have Jeet in the chat. Jeet. Okay, Jeet is also Jeet is one of my friends who works at a really big company, and I am planning to get him as a guest soon enough. Which Jeet has no idea about this, but whatever. Okay, so let's start with the start. Also, the screen is not gonna change much. I'm gonna use the browser when I can. Also, I use the Arc browser. It's an amazing browser, guys. If you have MacBook or Mac OS or whatever, just get Arc. Arc is amazing. One of the few reasons I think Arc is amazing is, for example, this is how your GitHub looks. Now, let's say you want to change a few things. All you need to do is just click on the boost button, and I'm pretty sure the Krisha in the chat somewhere, she's like, yeah, Arc finally. But whatever, you can just click the boost button and you can change the color of however, whatever looks like, right? And come on, if this isn't the prettiest thing that you have ever seen, I don't know. Make your GitHub look blue. It's amazing. You can also do custom, you can also invert all of it. You can also do advanced color settings if you are into that. And you can also, select your fonts. You can also zap something and you can code it. Once again, it's so extensive. You would probably love it. Also, you can just change your fonts to Wendings, which is my favorite. But this is so extensive. You can do a lot of things. I have changed my WhatsApp, the way WhatsApp looks, and it's amazing. Let's say, for example, and let's take a few examples. I mean, I can just open up Twitter, but I don't want to do that. For example, let's say I do not like that the GitHub, it gives me this plus button, or maybe it is giving me this search functionality. I do not want it. I don't want it to show up on my web page. So I can just click on Zap and I can just click on search. And let's just say Zap this, and that's it. The search parameter and all the related elements, it's gone. I don't have to worry about it. I can also, zap this sidebar. I don't think we can do that, but whatever. So every single time I open up GitHub, the search bar which was here, it's gone. We can do the same thing with YouTube Shorts. For example, who is deleting messages? I have no idea. Yeah. Also, every single time, for example, you open up YouTube and let's say you don't want to look at YouTube Shorts, you can just zap that specific element and it's amazing. And if you are not into that much customization, which I totally understand, also, I should update यहाँ पे, Arc browser, because that is, guys, trust me, it's the best browser out there. Yeah, also, let's say, for example, you don't want to customize yourself. I mean, I am one of those people who cannot, for the love of God, I'm not creative. Okay, I am not a person who can be creative, or who can create something. I can't do that. It's a very simple thing. But what I can actually do is I can just go online and I can just search for Art Boost, and let's see, there are many websites once again, uh, and you have something known as a Boost Gallery. So there are people who have made it better. For example, this Simplegram, this just converts your Instagram into a very simple interface. You don't have to look at reels. You don't have to look at that. Uh, in fact, okay, whoever asked if I have used item 2, yes, I have item 2, but I have reset my Mac, so I don't have it right now. I am back to terminal because terminal supremacy, I guess. Anyways, so yeah, you can also, remove shorts. You can do a minimal Google. You can remove Twitter, or you can just have a tweet, or you can just get the Twitter premium feeding, whatever. I know it sounds like a customization tool. Once you get Arc, you will understand it eventually. Yeah, also you can have distraction free YouTube. It will just blur out all the thumbnails. And I use a lot of YouTube extensions. So for example, if I actually open up YouTube here, you guys can see my YouTube looks a bit different than a lot of other YouTubes, right? For example, uh, it looks blue, first of all. Also, this the screenshots that you are looking at, I am not sure if I have the I don't think it's available right now, but I have these extension which will help me see the dislike counter. Along with that, it will also actually let me see, it will remove these clickbaity titles and everything. So for example, this is a clickbait title, the one iPhone gesture everyone needs to know. Now, the extension will actually just summarize the video and it will just remove the clickbait title, and it will also remove the clickbait thumbnail. So the thumbnail looks like hidden superpower, whatever, it will just replace the thumbnail with something authentic. So yeah, premium, yes, it looks different. I mean, I don't want to flex, guys, but yeah, it's good enough. Okay, listen, if you could afford it, as I said last time, premium is the best subscription choice you would ever make. But hey, whatever. Okay, cool. Let's go back to what we were talking about, which was that I have left cybersecurity. Now, around end of January, I have left the company that I was working with. I cannot give more details, a lot of NDAs and stuff, but I stopped teaching. So initially, I was teaching at Gujarat University, then I was deployed at Parul University. Shout out to Parul kids who were, there. But yeah, then I just stopped teaching cybersecurity and I just wanted to do more of development and more of AI. Currently, I am kind of someone who does R&D, which is just research and development at the current company. And what I do is I do technical trainings, I create documentation. The documentation, I can actually show the documentation, I'm pretty sure. So for example, let's just say GitHub training basic. So this is like a documentation that I create, and it's actually very pretty if you look at the reading mode. And this is what I do. I write all of these stuff. I create tutorials, and then I teach it to other employees in the organization. Right? I find it very fascinating. It's something that I love to do, and it's still a part of teaching, but it's not exactly academia. It's more stricter. There's not a syllabus to follow. You don't get that many novel questions, but you actually solve real world problems as they come along, which is one of the reasons I've been so into Git and GitHub recently. But yeah, wow, a lot of people are just showing up. Hi, Partho. Partho, okay, a lot of you guys already know Partho. He was your senior. If you are, I mean, everyone who's in the chat, Partho is your senior probably, and he teaches now. He's a professor. He's a proper professor. So yeah, cool. Anyways, yeah, that's the reason I left teaching. Uh, that's basically it. If anyone else has any questions in the chat, ask. Otherwise, I'm gonna move on from that topic because it's kind of getting old. We also have to focus on the Git versus GitHub part, which is the more important one. So yeah. Also, I feel like I'm taking an online class. I'm just asking people if everyone understood it. It's a habit of mine that I make sure that everyone in the class has understood something that I mentioned, and if anyone has any doubts, they can just let me know. Uh, the school system. The reason I ever even got into education was I always had an issue with the way education system was there. Like it already exists. The issue was there was too much homework. The issue was it was just rote learning, and I did not like it. I did not like it for the reason that novel thought was not appreciated. If you did something, if you did something good, if you did something new and creative, that wasn't. Trust me, I wasn't the creative dude. I wasn't the prodigy who was smart and all. But I had a lot of classmates who were really, really, really smart, and I felt like they were not being appreciated enough because they had to fit into a specific, you know, cookie cutter shape, but they were not made to fit into that shape. I had a lot of classmates who were really, really, really smart, but they got horrible grades. I was blessed enough to have a good memory. I was blessed enough that I never had to actually read anything, and I always, would be in the top three, which was good enough for me. Which was good enough. I mean, honestly, I didn't like the mark system, but I always got good enough marks, and that makes me, someone. that I feel like, see, if someone says marks don't matter, if someone says okay, the marking system is stupid, and if they're getting less marks, even if they are genuinely right at their point, people are gonna say that, oh yeah, you were just saying it because you got less marks. But consider me, guys. I've been a straight A student. I've been district first many times. Uh, Trust me, marks don't matter. Marks are shit. I'm telling you, marks are shit. It's a very specific thing. In fact, when I was in my school time, there used to be this concept of daily tests, right? There was this concept that daily test every day there would be a 5 mark test that would exist after every lecture, in fact. And I noticed even though I was writing the right answer, I would always get a 2 or 3 marks because I wasn't writing enough length. My handwriting, for people have seen, it's very tiny. I can't do the more spaced out version. And what happened is there was a substitute teacher, an assistant. And once again, no hate to her, but she was a substitute teacher and she had a very simple thing. If she sees that the entire page is written, if the entire page is filled, she would give marks. And I was very annoyed with it. And what I did is one time, once again, if Jeet is in the chat, he knows this happened, right? Jeet, Harsh, they would know. The thing was, uh, I just wrote Taylor Swift lyrics. Okay, don't judge me. Taylor Swift album 1989 came it back then in like what 2015. I was in 10th grade. Uh, but that album came up, and I just wrote some lyrics. I also wrote something about black holes. I was very much into physics back then. I still am. And what happened is I filled out 2 pages, right? Like a proper single page, both the sides. That reminds me of Rachel shouting front and back. Sorry, Ross shouting front and back the letter thing. Never mind. Uh, I wrote it and she gave me 5 out of 5. And I was like, listen, 5 out of 5 is good, but I don't like it. I don't like it that this is how it is. I hate this. And so what I did is I took that and I went to the principal, which is, guys, don't do that. Okay, listen, if you find a mistake in your school system, the only person you should not exactly tell that is your principal. I took that to the principal and I was like, hey, listen, your substitute teacher is doing this. I wrote random bullshit and I got 5 marks, which I don't think I shouldn't get that. But when I write genuine stuff, you give me like 2 marks. And then obviously he calls the substitute teacher and he's like, why did you not check it and whatever, whatever, all of that. And then he's like, yeah, Aman, you shouldn't do this. You shouldn't trick people. And I was like, hey, listen, I'm not tricking. It's a form of experimentation. And I specifically remember my dad, like the next time my dad came to school, maybe for some like fees or something, I don't know. But when he came, my principal mentioned it to my dad that your son is doing this instead of studying. And my dad just said a simple thing, because my dad is also a teacher. He said a very simple thing, that why are you encouraging that sort of behavior? If you would have just simply actually read the test paper, my son wouldn't have done the stupid experiment that you claim is stupid. So yeah, don't do that. I'm gonna check the chat. I feel like I missed out a lot. Uh, okay, Tower, hello. Okay, apply for Daikin University. Suraj, I honestly don't want to. I don't know. Practical stuff, Partho, you are right. Uh, okay, a lot of people are missing me. Makes sense. Applicable knowledge कुछ भी हो direct HOD office. Don't do that. Do not do that. Okay, listen. No, no. Okay, I'm gonna get a lot of hate from this eventually, but I listen. I don't work at the university. I don't care. Uh, the university is there to look out for itself, not for students. The professors are there to look out for their own interests, not for students. Remember that. you the only time they will look out for you is when the interests are aligned. So, for example, if you take a project to your university, and I'm not going to name any names, it could be any university. If you take a project to your university, and if that project is going to make your university look good, or maybe they can do marketing and all of that from that, they will support you. But if that project is not even remotely connected to your department or whatever you are doing, they are not going to do that. See, education for the sake of education does not work, sadly. And that is one of the reason so many people learn from YouTube. How many of you have gone on YouTube and tried to learn something by yourself because the system, the specific part of the system is not working? I know I'm ranting at this point, but that's the thing. Every student right now feels that they have to do something by themselves because it's not good enough, right? And that is not the type of environment that should be fostered. I joined teaching because I wanted to change that. The moral of the story was I wanted to change that, and I wanted to, make sure that my kids or my students never got a stupid homework. But reality is reality. Okay, it's a career. I have to make a career, and like it or not, I joined when I was 22 or 23. That's the thing. I I wasn't that much older than you guys. And the age difference between you guys and me was hardly of a few years, right? Now you might be wondering, hey, how do you hire someone who's not that older? I don't know. Okay, I'm good at being a con man, I guess. Okay, for people who are gonna take that out of the context, the point is, I'm good at what I do. I'm good at explaining shit. I'm good at taking complex things and dumbing it down. And I need to make a career. And what was happening is that was not good enough. And I'm wasting my prime years of my life. So, nothing personal to you guys or anyone. But as I said, one of the reasons this live is happening and so many people are here is because you guys still want to learn. And that's always going to be the case. I have not said no to any student who has come to ask for doubts. Yeah, I know I have an attitude. If someone asks me to do something, it is usually okay. It's either my way or the highway, right? I always am very assertive. I'm like, hey, listen, you do this, and then you come back to me. That's my test. Okay. If someone asks me, hey, how do I get into cybersecurity? I'm gonna give them a task, and I'm gonna tell them in a week you check back with me, and that's how I know you are serious. Because before I personally put in any effort into anyone, I need to know that they are serious about this. And if they don't get back to me, it's simple. I know that they don't care enough about a specific art form or a specific subject, right? So yeah, that's basically what happens. I yeah. Okay, when you or here's do that. Education proud of you. Geez. Okay, something, everything, every subject. Okay, fair enough. Master's degree. Yeah, I got my master's degree last year. So yeah. Uh, Fair enough. Okay, our viewership for some reason has increased. My dad is in the chat, so everyone, please be on your best behavior. Wow. Like it's like you're performing at a school function and you're good, you don't have any anxiety, but suddenly you see your parents in the audience and now you're like, okay, there are certain things now you can't say anymore. So yeah, cool. Okay, I'm gonna check if someone has texted me. Uh, okay, someone has texted me on WhatsApp. I'm just gonna check their message. Oh, got it. Cool. Never mind. Okay, let's leave this topic aside. Let's jump into why we are here exactly. Now, I'm gonna ask a very simple question. How many times it has been that you're trying to work on something? Okay, let's say you're trying to work on a simple file. So I'm gonna open up Obsidian. Let's just open up a very simple drawing, and let's actually see. I'm using, yeah, whatever, it's fine. Let's say how many times you are working on a specific file. Okay, so let's say you're working on uh, some image. So I'm just going to call it poster.jpg. Okay, now you're using a software which is basically Photoshop, right? You're using Photoshop and you're creating different images, you're doing some editing and you're saving a file, right? And you call it poster.jpg, right? 23 minutes and 23 viewers. Damn. Yeah, well, good stuff. Okay, so let's say you're using Photoshop, you're creating some image, and that's it. You're done, right? Your image is done. You call it poster.jpg. everyone is happy, your client is happy, all is good. But now the issue is your client just told you that, hey, listen, I need some changes. As you know, clients always will do that. They will be like, hey, I need to do some changes. Could you please do that for me? And what we'll do is we'll just cut this, we'll paste it here. And now you need to do some changes in the same app, Photoshop. But now you will call your file poster1.jpg, right? Because you can't use the old file. You have to make some changes to it. You maybe call it poster1.jpg, or maybe you call it final. You know, many times a lot of kids are writing assignments and they are like, okay, this is the final version. But let's say what happens if the person comes up again with another change and you're like, okay, fine, I'll do the change. And now it is called uh, whatever. Let's say, well, I cannot edit that. Okay, I can. Um, let's call it final2.jpg, right? Now, what is happening is you are creating a different versions of the same file. And what is happening eventually is this is too messy. This is too messy to keep up with. This doesn't make sense, right? That is where you take the exact same concept and you convert it into Git. Now, what exactly is Git? So every single time you write code, so for example, I'm going to show some code. I am not sure. Let's just take up a repo from the internet. Let's say I was working on Instagram stuff. Let's just take this repo. And I'm going to open it into the terminal, guys. Once again, my laptop right now, I have reset the entire thing. So, you know, whatever. Also, if someone has any doubts or questions, please just put it down in the comments. So, chat. I'm going to keep on reading chat whenever I take a break from speaking. So, yeah. Okay. So, let's just create a simple folder. I'm just going to call it codes, I guess. Okay. So let's say inside this folder, once again, don't worry if you don't know what git clone is, it doesn't matter, not right now. Okay. So let's say I go inside this specific thing and I do, oh, come on, you gotta be kidding me. I can't just use VS Code like this. This is what happens when you reboot an entire system. Okay. We will open stuff the old fashioned way. Yeah, I trust. It's my own laptop, dummy. Okay, let's say there's so much different code, right? So this is a script that I wrote before a few years, I guess, at this point, where you can just, you know, get a list of someone's Instagram followers. Now, let's say there's a bug in this. Maybe I don't like the way it is indented, or maybe I don't like this white space, and I'm making some changes into it, right? Now, if I'm making some changes and let's say I make the change, I run the file and it's fine. Okay, maybe I'm adding a few functionality. Let's say I added some feature one and I'm going to do something that, hey, feature. Let's once again, guys, you don't need to understand the code. It is completely fine. All I'm saying is there's some sort of feature that I'm adding. Okay. And now it works. But when you run the program, the feature is kind of messing things up and you don't like the way code is happening. You don't like the new change that you have made. Now normally people can just do, you know, control Z and you can just remove stuff, right? But control Z is not a possibility when you're working on so many different files. Okay, because in coding, now I know you guys are used to just using a single file, a single script, but that's not true. Usually in an actual program you will have multiple files which depend on each other, right? And if you make some change in one of the files, maybe the other change, that change is not possibly there in the other file, and now that's kind of breaking up things. And so you need something known as a VCS. A VCS is just a version control system. So you need something known as a VCS, as a VCS, which is just a version control system. So you need some sort of a versioning thing. And the way we would do the versioning thing is, I'm going to put it here. Let's just create, imagine it's like a timeline. Okay, imagine you're watching the latest season of Loki, and let's say this is a single timeline. I'm going to just copy paste. And also, guys, if you're wondering what software I'm using, it's called Excali Excalidraw, whatever. I always call it Excel Draw for some reason, but yeah, whatever. So all of these dots that you are looking at, this is what we call commits. So I'm just gonna type C1 for the commit, and this is commit C number 2. consider them points in time, and eventually when you are done with the commit, these are different commits. So C1, C2, C3, C4. Commits are like specific snapshots in time. That is the way a specific code was looking. And eventually when you are done with your project, maybe you want to go back to one of the features, you can just go back to a commit and you can now have everything stable. That is what Git does. That is the entire thing. Git is just a version control system. Okay. GitHub, we'll talk about GitHub later. Git is just a version control system. That's it. Okay. Now, I'm going to open up questions. Anyone has any questions, please type it down. I'm reading it. Okay. Now I'm going to read the chat. Everyone, you can just type your questions or whatever. Every subject, I agree, master's degree. Okay. So SCADA, IoT, MSF, which one is best for job opportunities? Bharat, I'm gonna talk about that. Okay. Cannot we just copy of that JPEG? Yes. We can actually just copy the JPEG in the initial thing, but you still have to create a new thing. Also, JPEG is a lossy file format, which means you cannot edit a JPEG. Okay. It has to be a PSD for Photoshop to actually recognize it. So, yeah. Okay, guys, hopefully this makes sense. The live stream has caught up at this point. So if anyone has any questions, let me know. And now, see, this is the point where there's an awkward silence because I'm just waiting for you guys to catch up. And yeah, it actually feels like time travel, but whatever. Also, another thing I forgot to mention is this is a single timeline. What if you want to have multiple timelines? That's a possibility. What if you want to have multiple timelines and you don't like that you just have to follow a single branch of code? And that's completely all right. You can just have a completely separate branch of code which is running parallel to your original branch. And this is what we call branching. And this is how it's kind of like a multiverse. And I find it very cool. Imagine your version system just lets you do that. Isn't that cool, guys? I'm gonna bring it over here in the center. So usually the branch at the bottom is what we call a main. Okay, that is not what I wanted to do. So this is what we call the main branch. And then this can be, maybe we can call it a feature branch. Whatever, doesn't matter. You can call it whatever you want. But there are different branches and they have their own changes. They have their own pocket universes and they are isolated from each other. And they have a common point, which is C2. That's what Git does. And I know it sounds like why we can just do Control Z or whatever, but it's a big deal. Okay. It seems like no one has any questions, so I'm gonna continue along. Hopefully that is fine. Forking. Suraj, branching is, it's not exactly forking, but you're very, very, very close. But it's not exactly that. We will talk about it eventually in the future. Today's just like an introductory thing. I don't want to spend more time on this, but yeah. Python hacking tools, making full playlist a video. Yeah, we will get to that eventually. Maybe today. I don't know. The live stream is gonna be for more than an hour, guys. I hope you guys bought some popcorn. I got some French fries with me, so I'm gonna be eating and I'm gonna be managing. So it's gonna be a chill time. Also, I know the speed at which I speak, so I'm gonna try to tone things down a bit, but whatever. Now this is what the branching thing looks like. Blockchain, mein, forking in blockchain. Okay, once again, Suraj, you are absolutely correct on a lot of different things, but yeah, it's not exactly that. Also, the blockchain can the different blocks, they are very, very, very similar to the way there are different commits in Git. In fact, blockchain is a big versioning system if you think about it. At the end of the day, it's just a big ledger, right? A lot of concepts are interchangeable in both of them. So in fact, you're spot on. Okay, anyways, we'll just go back to our terminal and I can see the Git history. So what I'm going to do is there's a very simple command and that will just show us the graph. And I'm going to do, okay, if I do this, you can see this is my Git graph and it says origin, head, master. Once again, we will talk about that later. But you can see there are different branches going side by side by side. This is when I was working on localization stuff. We don't have to care about it. But if I scroll down enough, I'm pretty sure, yeah, you can see I started a new branch right over here. Hopefully this is visible for everyone. And then I merged another branch back into like the multiverse, it just collided and you have something known as, uh, what was the word that Dr. Strange used? Uh, I'm blanking out on it. What is called? It's called uh, multiverse of madness, universe, collide. What's the word? Uh, Incursion, yes. So it's like an incursion. You have everything merging, and only one of them can survive. There will also be a lot of merged conflicts, which, for example, you have two Doctor Stranges, but only one of them can survive in the new universe. And so now you have to sort out that merged conflict. So it's like a conflict. Also, it's very similar to the Doctor Doom storyline where he creates something known as a battle world. That is also very similar to the concept in Git where we do rebasing, but yeah, we'll talk about that later. Okay, cool. So yeah, as you guys can see, this is how it works. There are different commits, and every single commit has a specific hash attached to it, and the hash is always going to be different. There will always be an author, there will always be a date. So commits, as I said, is just basically this. These are commits. They are specific snapshots in time. So here the snapshot was taken by me on 5th of February, whatever. And the comment was this. I was adding some translation, right? So yeah, more or less, that's basically it. Uh, I don't think anyone has any questions so far. I'm gonna do a very basic, like Git stuff, like how can you actually do Git yourself. A lot of people might also have the question, what is GitHub doing in all of this? We'll talk about that later on. Right now, you just need, if you want to follow along, if you actually want to, do Git and GitHub along with me, it's a very simple thing. In fact, you can just, just write download Git, and this is the main website. If you are on Windows, click on Windows. If you are on Mac OS and Linux, you don't need to download it from here, because for Linux, it's actually very, very, very easy. Linux, you just have to do this. Okay, let's put this away for a second. So in Linux, all you have to do is just go to the terminal, just do sudo apt install whatever git, right? So it's gonna work. It's automatically gonna figure it out. If you're on Mac OS, where I'm assuming there's like one kid who's on Mac OS, so brew install git, and that should sort it out. So yeah. Cool. So you can download Git or whatever. Then what you need to do is there's a word which is called repository. A repository and a folder are the exact same thing. Repository, directory, and folders, it's the exact same thing. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new repository. The command for that is git init. Once again, if someone is following, you can. If you don't want to follow it right now, that is completely okay. I'm losing a lot of viewership because people are getting bored. I don't care. Okay. If you have to sit, sit. If you want to learn, learn. Otherwise, I'm okay with that. So git init, and then whatever is the folder name, you can just write the folder name. Right now, I'm just going to call it demo live stream. Okay. And so, yeah, it initialized an empty GitHub repository, and let's just go into that folder. I'm going to keep on clearing screen, but if anyone wants commands, you can take it later. Okay, now there's nothing inside it, but if I actually do ls-la, you will see that there's a folder which is called .git. .git is the folder which has all of the information about version control. So it's like, I want to call it the book of darkness or the book of Vishanti, which has like all the, I'm trying to connect it with Marvel for some reason, but whatever. It is like the TVA. Sure. Okay. It has all the information inside it. If you delete the .git folder, it will lose all the version control system, and whatever is the latest commit will be the latest commit. So yeah. Now I'm gonna create a new file. I'll just create a new. Let's just use Vim. Do I have Vim? I have Vim. I'm so happy. Okay, so let's just create a new file. I'm just going to call it mark.py. And inside the file, I'm going to do a very simple print statement. Hello world. Also, sorry, Nano users, Vim is clearly the superior choice. So let's say I created a file which is just, mark.py, and I just print hello world. Now, at this point, this is not in the version system. If I want to put it into a commit, if I want to put it on the timeline, right now, if I open git log, there is nothing on the timeline. There are no snapshots. So if I want to do that, there is a two-step process. Time variant authority, yes, yes. So that it's a two-step process. So this is the file. Now I want this file to be staged. Okay. Now the way you snapshot something in Git, and it's a very good example that I saw before years when I was learning Git myself. Imagine you are at a wedding and it's reception going on, and you need to take a photo with the bride and groom, but they're standing on the stage. Now, as I said, a photo or a snapshot is a two-step process. First is you have to get on the stage, which is what I call staging. So if I do git status, you will see there's nothing being tracked. Once again, it says nothing tracked. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to write git add, and then I'll write the name of the file. Then it is staged. Now my file mark.py is on the stage. So if I actually write git status, you can see changes to be committed. This is the new file. It's not committed yet, but it's on the stage. I haven't taken a photo of it. I can add more files before I actually take a snapshot. I can add more people to the stage. Doesn't matter. Okay, let's add one more person on the stage. I'm going to call it mark2.py. And if I check git status, mark2.py is not tracked. That means they are not on the stage. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to write git add mark2.py. If I check git status now, you can see both of them are on the stage, and I'm going to take a snapshot. Okay, a snapshot is very simple: git commit, and that's it. But if you do a git commit, it wouldn't work. Right now, I'm going to take another example. Imagine you are posting on Instagram. Okay, imagine you're posting a story on Instagram, or imagine you're posting a post on Instagram. Very weird thing to say. You need a caption with it. And you cannot do a commit without actually putting some caption or comments, because Git is gonna freak out. How are you gonna distinguish between commits? So I'm just gonna do -m, which means I'm gonna type a message, and the message is going to be added some new files, and it can be as descriptive as you want. Okay, you can add new line characters, you can go nuts with it. It does not matter. You can do whatever you want. So added some new files, and added some code inside mark.py. Once again, that's my message. If I hit enter, it's done. So it says, okay, it is committed, added some new files. That was the commit. Committer was Aman Virasya. And once again, it's not going to show my email, but it's just going to show my domain, which is I'm using my MacBook. Your email and were not configured, whatever. So I don't have a config right now. It doesn't matter. And it says 2 files created and 1 insertion. So 2 files were created, and mark.py had some information inside it. So once again, if I do git status, if I could spell status, it's going to say, hey, you are on the branch main and there's nothing to commit. Everything is good to go. So if I do git log, I can see there's only one commit, and this is my initial commit. Got it? Does that make sense, guys? Hopefully. Okay, I'm getting a lot of requests. You are typing it in the live chat. I might forget about it later on, but yeah. Okay, I hope this is clear for everyone so far. What about now if we modify the file? Thank you so much, Ned Stark. I know you lost your head, but you have good question. Okay, now, good thing. If we modify the file, what is going to happen? So let's just open up VI and let's just take mark.py. And if I actually modify the file, and let's just say print some heavy modification, and yeah, if I do that, if I have changed the file, the thing is git log is not going to say anything because it's just showing me the timeline. But if I do git status, it says that, hey, you have modified the thing which was you already took a snapshot of it, but now you have a different filter, you removed your makeup, you look different. So it's modified. So what you need to do is, once again, you can just go for git add and you can just add it again on the stage, and you can just say, hey, I'm going to take another photo of you because you look different now. And I can just say modified the mark.py file with some necessary changes, whatever. If I send it, and as I said, one file change, one insertion. Now, if I remove something, it's just going to say deletion. So if I do git log now, it will say, once again, you go from the bottom up. I am resisting the urge to say that's what she said, but whatever. Yeah, so you see this, these are the types of jokes I can't make inside a university. Okay, I can do it on my YouTube live because who the fuck cares? Cool. And I sweared already. So yeah. Okay, this is the commit. This is the first initial commit, and then after that, after a few minutes, we added this commit, which just is a modification. And yeah, that's it. That's how it works. Every single time you modify something, if you think it's a big enough change, you add it on the stage and you take a snapshot. Now, if anyone has any questions, I'm gonna read the chat. Uh, so I don't need an account or something to identify before committing. Where exactly will it be saved? Ajay, this is being saved locally. As I mentioned, there is a hidden .git file. This is the file. Everything is, it's a folder, sorry, not a file. Everything is getting saved inside that file, which once again, you can just open it. And if you do ls, you can see commit, edit message, config, hooks, info, logs, index, description, everything, it just exists. So for example, if I can go into logs, it's just gonna say, hey, wherever is the head and wherever is the reference. Once again, too complicated. I'm not gonna get into it right now, but all of that information is stored locally on your device. And that's basically it, more or less. Hopefully that answers your question. Anyone else has any burning questions before we move on? Also, for some reason, the bottom of oh, no, you have to be in full screen mode, otherwise you cannot see the bottom of the screen for some reason. Yeah. Cool. Okay, now a lot of people at this point are like, hey, so what's the point of GitHub then? What is the difference between Git and GitHub? There's a really good difference. I'm not going to mention that, but for whoever knows that, they know that. I'm pretty sure Radhika is laughing somewhere. Okay, so imagine your, let's say the photos that you take. So let's say you are taking photos locally in your phone. That's your Git. But when you upload photos on Instagram, that's GitHub. Whereas Instagram here is GitHub. That's the point, right? Now you can have photos without Instagram. It doesn't matter. But the reason you put your photos on Instagram is maybe you want people to comment, maybe you want people to share, right? I have a very, very, very good example. Uh, Stop mentioning it. Okay, I'm gonna go to Obsidian. I'm gonna open up the file, which is the GitHub training one, I guess. So there's a very simple explanation I have over here, that let's imagine that you are filming a short movie, which is your project. You're recording different scenes, which is what we call git commits. You're editing them as you go along, which is, you're basically modifying it. So you git track those changes. Uh, then what you do is, now let's say you don't like something in your movie that you have created. So you go back in time. So you can just, do something known as git reset. So you can just go back in time, take whatever you want. Eventually, when you are done, you upload your finished movie to YouTube, which just means you are pushing the project to GitHub, where you can invite other people to suggest edits on GitHub. Now, for whoever has learned cybersecurity from me, you guys already know GitHub is a place where you host code. This code exists on GitHub, right? But you can also do version system. So here you can see in this specific code I have, it says 94 commits. That is the amount of different changes I have introduced into this file. So if you click on the commit thing, these are those commits which I just showed you. I mean, see, I'm going to put it side by side. And if I just, do a git log over here, you can see it looks very, very, very similar, right? It's just commits and comments along with it, right? So that's the entire point. You can see all of those commits. And once again, this project has a lot of commits, but whatever. This is what it means. Also, you can change other branches. So if there are other branches, which I had a lot, I believe if I go to the, I think I deleted those branches, whatever. So you can check all of that, and that's what GitHub lets you do. It's just a GUI. It's just a, graphical user interface for Git. But GitHub is a private company. It's owned by Microsoft. Okay, it's not. I'm pretty sure it's publicly traded by Microsoft. I'm not gonna comment on that. We can just check. GitHub publicly traded. Can we buy GitHub stock? Is that a thing? GitHub stock. Oh, that's gonna. I should write IPO. It's just giving me stock. It's just giving me topics, but that's so shitty. It's owned by Microsoft, guys. I'm pretty sure if you just go Microsoft price, yeah, it's giving you a specific whatever. So GitHub is a company which helps you implement Git. There are many other options. So you also have GitLab, which is mostly open source, kind of, where you can also self-host GitLab if you want. There's also Bitbucket, which is once again very similar. It's a Git solution. You can upload your code to Bitbucket. It looks very, very, very similar. So yeah, you can do that if you want. You can self-host it. It's for free. If you want to do it on or if you want to do it on their server, you can do it as well. There are different, it's a long story, whatever. I'm not gonna get into that. Good. Yeah. Okay. I think that should be a good stopping point for Git and GitHub. If you guys are interested, I might do a proper, let's just say I might do a proper series on Git and GitHub, like, proper explanations. How can you best use it for your software practices? Everything. Yeah, we can do that later on if people are interested. Okay. Also, this is my GitHub profile. Guys, I have 110 followers. By the time this stream is ended, I want this number to go up. If you don't already follow me on GitHub, do that. Talking about following, so YouTube has implemented this new feature where if you mention subscribe, the word, the subscribe button is gonna glow. If you're not already subscribed. So if you're not subscribed, and if I mention subscribe, or if I say subscribe to my channel, the subscribe button is gonna glow. I don't know if it only works on desktop, but it works. So if it is glowing for you, make sure you already subscribe to my channel. Yeah, we are doing face recognition. Face recognition has a video which is gonna come tomorrow. So I'm not tackling that thing right now because it's gonna use a lot of CPU resources. So we might do a live stream for it, but it's gonna come out tomorrow. So yeah. Okay. Listen, if I tell you guys a very good trick, okay, and if it works, okay, whoever is on the laptop interested about GitHub series, okay, I'm gonna do a GitHub series then. Okay, if you're on your laptop, click on the video, click on the live stream that is going on. For example, can I check my own live stream? I'm pretty sure I can do that, right? So let's just yeah, it's our own live stream. Can I check my own live stream? I'm gonna mute. I'm gonna mute myself. Okay, it's gonna be in a second. There's gonna be an infinity mirror down the line. But what I want you guys to do is while you are on a live stream, just pause it, play it again, and then just type awesome. What I want you guys to do is while you are on oh, I don't know why I'm hearing my own voice. But if I actually if you type awesome, your this thingy, your seek bar, whatever you call it, it's gonna blink. And if you actually, so if I remove my boost for a second, let me just remove the boost, blue tube, whatever. If I remove the boost, you can see it is gonna flash rainbow. And if it works for you, I want you guys to subscribe. Simple as that. Okay, I'm pretty sure everyone here is already subscribed, but whatever. So yeah, see, cool infinity mirror. Some of it is blue, some of it is not. whatever. I'm gonna go back to this thing. Yeah, that's what I wanted to showcase, guys. Yep, that's basically it. Let's just go back to GitHub. Okay, cool. I'm gonna interact with the chat a bit. I'm also gonna grab some food. So there's that. But yeah, that's GitHub. I might do a very simple tutorial, maybe like a three-parter series. Once again, guys, there are many good tutorials out there on the internet. There are people who explain it way, way, way better than I do. The only advantage you might have with my explanation is that I know the pain points and doubts that you guys might have because I know some of you since more than a year at this point. So yeah, that's the only benefit, probably. And everyone is so silent. Guys, if I'm seeming silent, it's because I'm just trying to read chat, and there's an awkward silence. So that's basically it. Also, it might be because I'm eating food. So you know, um, good question. I don't earn from YouTube. This is not a side, and this is not a side hustle, guys. I don't get a, I don't get anything from the YouTube. My videos are not monetized. I see the thing is the amount of views you have to get to even get a considerable amount of money from YouTube is horribly less. Like for like what every what 1 lakh views, I might get a few thousand rupees. It's not worth it. So yeah. Oh, backend program is safe with this AI AAM. It's a good question. I don't know if you guys have recently seen there are a lot of videos on YouTube about this Devin it's funny. Devin is a very good friend of mine, but Devin AI programmer. I'm gonna misspell a lot. It doesn't matter. So it's like the world's first AI software engineer. A lot of people saw it and they were panicking and they were like, "Holy shit, we're gonna lose our jobs. What are we gonna do? Whatever, whatever." Listen, it's not that good. Okay, it's just Chat GPT. A lot of people said the same thing about Chat GPT. Listen, I know AI is here to stay. I understand. You have to, there are a lot of jobs which are gonna go away. But see, the point is, it's you cannot replace a software engineer. Okay, there are certain things which the programmer does not do properly. In fact, you know what? I don't think I'm gonna get a copyright strike. And let me check my OBS settings if I have the screen capture on. Wait, guys, I'm gonna play a YouTube video. Tell me if the YouTube video is playing properly. Uh, so I'm gonna open up this specific video, and I'm gonna go open it on YouTube, probably. And can you guys hear the dude? I'm gonna decrease the volume
a pretty amazing experience
because yeah,
So I maintain this big open source repository,
audio.
which contains a lot of different algorithms.
You don't have a job to lose it. Yeah, makes sense.
Programming. A lot of people use it, and
So I'm gonna skip around in this video specifically. Now I want you guys to focus on this dude is just showcasing like the way Devin works. I'm gonna mute him, doesn't matter. I want you guys to focus on the time frames. So here in the topmost corner, it says Devin's workspace and there are different times. But I want you guys to focus. It's video editing, right? I don't know if you guys caught it, but see the original question was asked at 9:45 p.m. and you can see in the next frame, once again, it took Devin 5 minutes to reply. And then at 10:30, this dude is replying it back, right? There's a lot of inference time that is going on. And in previous videos, if you actually check it, it's taking an hour for this AI thingy to actually create decent projects. So you can see it's going to take a lot of time. It's not that optimized. I don't think it's going to take your job. Okay. And whatever jobs you have, automation is going to take your job first instead of an AI thingy. Uh, but yeah, that's basically it. Also, if you want to play around with this, the thing is they don't have an open beta. You cannot actually just, I am already subscribed to it, but they haven't given me uh, you know, access to it. I'm ready to pay money for it. Usually that's the solution, but they are not allowing it. But there is a better option. You can actually go on GitHub and you can actually do Open Devin. If you just search for Open Devin, there are people who have made this, but in an open source manner. So you can actually do the exact same thing, uh, you know, and it will work locally. So once again, I'm gonna do a video eventually on how to run local large language models like Mistral and Llama and all of that stuff. For people who were there in the hackers meetup in December, I showcased how I was running my own chat GPT in air quotes locally. So you can do that. You can do this locally on your system. It's amazing. I might make a video about it if you guys are interested. So you can have your own personal Devin. There's also another thing that's going on, which is called Devika, and someone has made once again, guys, Indians are so creative with names. So yeah, someone created Devika, which is it's similar to Devin. But yeah, you can do that. It's fun stuff. It's out there on the internet. You can just read the thing, right? Come on, there's like installation and everything given. If you get stuck, let me know. I'll just create a video on it. It's so cool. You can also learn LLMs locally. So I believe it's called LLM Studio. And yeah, this is the website LM Studio. Or it's LM Studio, not LLM Studio. You can run all of this locally. That's freaking cool. Okay. I'm gonna read the chat messages while you guys are actually figuring it out. Can you tell me a bit about pushing a code and pulling a code with example if possible? We can do that, Asta, but it would be a bit too advanced. I would rather save it for like the actual GitHub tutorial. So yeah, excuse me while I eat. I realize the stream is just sounds of me chewing, but whatever. Python full video playlist on your channel. Yeah, that's yeah, I'm not gonna comment on that. Uh, for people who are wondering what he's talking about, the thing is on my channel there is a playlist. Yeah, there's a playlist for Python specifically, Python basics, which is not updated since years. Last update was what, 2 years ago. Come on, see, listen. People are not watching it, okay, which means people are not interested in it. I'm not gonna make something. I'm not gonna put the time and effort. It see every single video. It takes a while to create. It takes half an hour to at least create 1 10-minute video. There's not just recording. There's also editing. There's also uploading it, coming up with titles, all of it. There's also a lot of thinking that goes behind because live is fine. I can just talk. It's just an unfiltered consciousness stream. But videos are structured. Videos have to be structured, and especially if it's not a game, if it's something that is study related, if it's academic, I have to create a storyline around it. Now, at this point, I have gotten good with Python enough to the fact that I can just start teaching it. But there will always be a storyline in everything I teach. There has to be a storyline. So it takes a lot of effort, guys. That's why I wanted to just teach Python for money, because it takes time, and I'm taking time out of my life. But I might just do it for free. There are a lot of resources on the internet. You can just do that. If you want a personal interaction with me and whatever, You can just ask me doubts. I'm not gonna charge anyone any money for asking me doubts. But if you want a dedicated time, 1 hour of my life, what, like all every other day, I might start thinking about doing a course eventually then. So, Jui says she was doing Python web dev for NSEM. Jui, I'm really sorry. I was teaching Python. Jui is a student from Parul University. I was teaching them Python, and then I left mid-semester. Uh, Something not I'm not proud of, but hey, come on, I at least did warn you. Uh, hmm. I have no idea what you're talking about. Google's gonna launch their IDE. What IDE? Are you talking about Duet? Are you talking about IDX? Because that's a very old thing. Or is that IT Pro TV? What the heck is that? Oh, yeah, that was a courses you're mentioning for courses. Got it. I have no idea. What is Google's IDE? It's just cloud code and Google Notebooks. This is the only thing I know, but it's very old. And it's just VS Code. It's just VS Code. It is just VS Code for guys. If you don't know this, VS Code is open source. So this is just a fork of VS Code. I'm pretty sure everything looks similar to it, but it doesn't matter. It's just a listen. It doesn't matter what IDE you use. A lot of people get very sketchy about their own text editor and their IDE. Listen, if you write good code, it doesn't matter. You can use VS Code. You can use Sublime Text. Oh, that reminds me, I need to install Sublime Text. Uh, you can install. You can also. A lot of people code in VI. They code and they do auto completion and all of it inside a terminal. A lot of people code in Nano. In fact, that's what I do. If I want to do something very quickly, I would just use VI because what happens is I'll show you. So, for example, a lot of the times I'm not working locally on my system. I might need to work on cloud. And so if I I don't think it would matter. What is it? I don't want to display whatever. Oh shit. The documents folder does not exist. Huh. I don't want to display the keys. Um yeah, I cannot open up the iCloud Drive right now, guys. But is there anything in the downloads? No. Cool. I cannot open up my drive right now. Maybe I can block, I guess. I do not know what's the path to. Hear me out, guys. I'm trying to showcase something. Uh, would iCloud fall under volumes? No, right? No, it doesn't fall under. Okay, I'm gonna blank out the screen capture. Um, I'm gonna quickly grab. So it should be a black screen for you guys. If it's not, yeah, it's a black screen. Cool. If it's not, then I messed up very bad. Where is the file? Okay, I need the SSH keys. I'm gonna get the SSH keys. I'm gonna put them inside codes, and let's just download it very quickly. Okay, download it, and now I can just start this stream again. Okay, cool. Hopefully you guys can see it. Okay, I'm gonna go back and just go to codes. Okay, these are my SSH keys. I'm gonna connect to my terminal. Let's just connect to. Okay, SSH hyphen I. let's just connect with our Ubuntu server, which exists on Oracle. Once again, even if you guys see the IP address, it's not gonna matter because it's a personal IP address which will only work if you're on my Tailscale connection. So yeah, as you guys can see, this is my cloud computer. Now, if I want to do some editing here, and let's say I have some tools over here, and if I want to do some editing over here, I can't just download the file. I can't do a Git or whatever. It doesn't make sense. If I want to edit something on the fly, I'll have to just do this VI, and I can just edit stuff over here. Delete a file, whatever. It doesn't matter. That's the thing. You will have to use a terminal text editor to get out of these situations. So yeah. Python playlist, nahi, Minecraft playlist, Suraj, that does make sense. Repellent is just a code editor, but it's online. That's it. There are many, many, many code editors online, so that's fine. Its cursor is more better compared to VS Code because it's guys, listen, AI is not gonna help you code. I'm really sorry, but if you're thinking you can just use AI to be a coder, you can't. I don't like saying this to people, but that's not how it works. Okay. If you want to be a coder, if you want to actually learn to code, you gotta ditch GitHub Copilot. You gotta ditch AI features. You gotta ditch Gemini and Llama and Mistral and everything. Cause the issue with that is ChatGPT just gives you the code. It does not give you a chance to go through the documentation, which is a very horrible thing. The only way you're gonna learn to code, in my professional advice, is you'll go on Stack Exchange. You will go on Stack Overflow. You will go through the documentation, and that's how you're gonna learn. Cause for example, I can just ask, hey, come on, don't delete messages. See, guys, listen. No question is a bad question. No question is a stupid question. Something I say again and again is that the one who asks question is stupid for 5 minutes, but the one who doesn't ask question is stupid for the rest of their lives. So come on, let's not do that. Hmm? Okay. People are texting. Why are they texting? Give me a second. Okay. Cool. I'm gonna ignore text from people and snaps as well. As I was saying, uh, what are we talking about? AI. Yeah. So ChatGPT is just gonna, give you the answer. Now let's say say this is something that I work on, Insta Loader. It's a script which will help you download stuff from Instagram. Now, when I was working on this before a few years, in fact, that is the script which we initially saw me download. So I usually was working on this 6 degrees of Instagram. It was a personal project of mine, and what it did is it would actually go on Instagram. It would download people's, uh, you know, profile, whatever follower list or whatever, and then it would download their profile pictures. And I was using it for facial recognition. And yeah, I don't know where it is. Did I miss it? I think it would be very, very, very old project. Yeah, 6 degrees of Instagram. I've made it private. I don't know why. I'll make it public, guys. You guys can actually check it. The thing is, in this file, there are certain things which I did not know how to do. And for that, if I had ChatGPT back then, once again, the commit was done 2 years ago. I don't think ChatGPT existed at that point. Yeah, August 26, 2022. This was just before ChatGPT. So yeah, I had to go through the documentation. I had to learn it the hard way. For example, if I want to download, or if I want to, let's say, where are good examples when you need them? Okay, let's say I am not getting, I can't log in properly. So what is the bad credentials exception? So then I need to check what is the exception given over here, and then I need to understand that exception. Let's say if I want to learn how to, for example, download someone's stories. So I need to go through that. I need to learn all of this. Okay, this is the documentation that I had to check. let's say if I wanted to download someone's 30 pictures with a specific location, this is how you do it, right? You can ask ChatGPT, but come on, guys, this is more fun. This is how you learn. So yeah, that's my take on AI. Don't use it. It's good for writing emails to your professors, but that's about it. Yeah. Okay. We have already crossed 1 hour mark. I'm gonna check my Obsidian. We have done. See, guys, the reason I love Obsidian is this. Like, look at it. I can just do this, and now it's a wait. Uh, now it's a checkbox. Wait, did I do it wrong? Uh, I guess this is the syntax. Krisha, are you there in the chat? Could you please tell me the syntax for? Oh, I think it's you put a space. You put a space. You put a space. I'm pretty sure you put a space, and you remove this, and yep, checkboxes. Figured it out. Come on. Are you posting this live lecture? Yes, this live will be available after a few hours when the YouTube is done processing it. Okay, so let's do checkboxes properly. Uh, guys, listen, the editor that I'm using, this is Obsidian. I freaking love it. Uh, so let's just add checkboxes. And okay, it's difficult for me to type because I'm actually typing with one hand. Have you used Notion? Joey, Notion is something that I put so much effort in. Obsidian is the Notion killer. That's what I would say. So yeah. Okay, teaching done. Future of cybersecurity. That's a very heavy topic. We'll do that someday else. Git versus GitHub, note taking, sure. Arc browser done. Easterly podcast. Just wanted to let you guys know. Eventually, I want to do a podcast thingy. It already exists on my channel. You can actually, yeah, go there and here, and you will see playlist which is called the Study Podcast. So I had a lot of people over here, and then this is my favorite podcast because we talk about VR and we talk about like games and God of War and stories and Spider-Man, PS4 and whatever back then. So yeah, I might do a third video. So yeah, there's another podcast which I did technically record, but I cannot put it on my channel. But it is on Tech Defense's channel, which is my old employer. But if you actually go to the channel, hey, look at me inside news thingy. But if you go to TechCast, also my workshop, guys, if you haven't seen my workshop from IIT, watch it. But I mean, you can subscribe, but just subscribe to me, okay? I'm gonna get into so much trouble. But this is the video that I was talking about. We never made another episode of podcast. Uh, I don't know why. It's very funny. This was when ChatGPT and Bing were a thing, and it's just me and Vivek talking. Vivek, if I don't, okay, listen, Vivek, realistically, I don't think he's gonna look at this live stream, but whatever. And hey, I had the budget to hire a video editor. Okay. So, no, this is not marketing. Harsh, listen, this isn't marketing. Okay. This isn't my channel. Not anymore. I don't manage it anymore. If you want to subscribe to someone, subscribe to my channel, Eastadly. Got it? Anyways, so this podcast thingy that we did, I absolutely loved it. The issue with podcast is I need someone on the other end who can, you know, who is as I don't want to use the word smart, but like as smart and as quippy and has like upfront answers and who can help me create content, right? If any one of you is up for that, I would love it. I have had students on my podcast before. That's okay. That's nice. Also, I used to do e-study news, and I had students on my news thingy and like a live, or sometimes it's live, sometimes it's a recorded video, doesn't matter. But it is a thing. And if someone is quippy enough, I would love to have you on my podcast, right? Because it's fun. I there's a lot of funny banter that goes on. Someone who has to be updated with tech. So yeah. Okay. Akash, you have asked, how are you? I'm good. Um, I have an idea of XZ, but what does it really do? XZ was a compression library, which recently had there was an issue that was found in it. If you want to read more on it, I'm pretty sure there's like a really good video on YouTube. It's by Low Level Learning. Yeah, Low Level Learning XZ. They have an amazing explanation as to what happened there. So you can actually check their video. They they will do a very, very much better job at explaining it than I do. There's also Theory Acts. You can also check out his video. This is where I got the information before a few days. I mean, I saw it in the post before, like on Reddit, but it's a good explanation. Go for it. You know, these people are nice. And yes, I am alive. Where I have been recording videos. I don't know. It's been years and years. Job happened, life happened. I don't know. You don't get that much time, you know. I don't know. Saturday, Sundays is what I get. So come on, YouTube. I rant about the education system, stroke my own ego, stuff. Yeah. Cool. That is me check marking Easterly podcast as a topic. The explanation was amazing, which got way over my head. I have no idea what explanation you're talking about, but okay. Huh. So scam beating. I use a script. It's called Navy Stealer. It's on GitHub. There's a modified version of it. But the modified version is locally. I haven't put it on GitHub yet. I will put it up on GitHub if you guys want that. I forgot how to spell steal. Yeah. Navy Stealer. This is the original repo. Check it out. I'm gonna copy it. And how many arc windows do we have? I'm gonna put it in the chat. It's fine. You guys can check it out whenever you have time. So yeah, this is what I used to send to scammers, and they open up the link, and it just takes a photo. It takes your clipboard. It takes a lot of information. I can show that information. Let's just do the previous command. So the only reason it worked is because I don't use ngrok. I have my own server online on like Oracle Cloud, so I don't have to worry about port forwarding. But if I actually open up uh, that specific folder, you can see the information that I got from them. So let's just open up sensitive info. So yeah, see, this is the information that I got from them. So I got their battery percentage, charging GPS. They denied GPS permission, otherwise I would have the GPS permission. And whatever was copied in their clipboard last. So if someone copied their password in the clipboard, I would have gotten the clipboard. So yeah, these scammers were from Nigeria, but yeah, they got pretty scared eventually when you tell them, if you just show them their photos, they're gonna freak out. There's also their IP information, which is very, very, very similar to what Grabify does. It just takes your IP address and just gives you basic information, which I'm pretty sure anyone can get from the internet. It's just Grabify. So Grabify with extra steps is what I like to call it. Joey, you are exactly on point. That is who you are, one of the smartest kids. So yeah, it like Grabify. Yeah. So scammer baiting. Just a bit of context. The reason I do this, because I'm in cybersecurity, a lot of times I get approached that, hey, Aman, I got scammed. What do I do? Usually people hesitate to tell, like they would tell it after like a week, and they're like, hey, I got scammed. And I'm like, yeah, there's nothing that can be done. Just an FYI, if you ever get scammed, the first 24 hours, no, frick that. The first 1 or 2 hours are very important. You should reach out to someone. I would just suggest go to cybercell, but if you cannot, Reach out to me, reach out to someone someone who's in cybersecurity. The first 2 hours are the most important ones. A lot of people feel shameful that, hey, they lost 10,000 rupees. Listen, guys, it's okay. You're not stupid, because these scammers are designed, they design their scripts around social engineering, and it's not stupid. It's okay. Anyone can fall into that trap. Anyone can get scammed. And so it is very imperative that we do not shame the people who get scammed. It's completely all right. Okay. It's just social engineering. It's not your fault. Now, as I was saying, uh these scammers, there's a very simple fundamental. It's called scam baiting. Scam baiting is the practice of making, I'm just going to open up scam baiting. You can actually search it on the internet. Scam baiting is just a type of internet vigilantism, which means I consider myself daredevil. What does that mean? So whenever a scammer is going to text, or whenever a scammer, I don't know, if I get their number or whatever, they try to tell me that, hey, you should invest or whatever, I waste their time. I waste their time, and I'm gonna pretend that, hey, oh yeah, I'm gonna invest, whatever, whatever. I waste their time 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. Now a lot of people might say, Aman, why would you waste 3 hours of your life? Just for fun? No, it's not just for fun. The thing is, those 3 hours that they spent on me, those 3 hours that they wasted on me, it ensures that those are less 3 less hours that they would have used to scam on someone vulnerable. Think of your dad, think of your mom, think of your aunt, think of your grandparents. They are more susceptible to scam. I'm not saying I'm not. I'm pretty sure I can get scammed as well. But it's just I have a specific technical expertise and I can use it. Right? The point is to do everything the scammer says up till the last step. Okay. That's how you gain their trust. That's how you make sure that they trust you enough to click on a link. And at that point, you just hope that they are dumb. And they are dumb. These scammers are really, really dumb, horrible people. Okay. And at this point, it's like a personal vendetta for me. I love to annoy them. I love to harass them till the point they block me. That's my tagline, guys. I don't block scammers, they block me. And that's the point. Okay. So that's my vigilantism. If anyone, listen, guys, if you want to do this yourself, that's okay. You should do that. But please, please, please take precautions. Please consult me once. There are a lot of things which go, there are a lot of things which you have to make sure you are anonymous. They are smart people. And if you think you are scamming the scammer, you might also get scammed back. So please be very careful. If you want to get into this, please reach out to me on my email, Telegram, WhatsApp, whatever. So, yeah. URL shortener, which website or tool is the best? Just create your own URL shortener. Buy a domain on name.com. So you go to name.com. See, domains are not that expensive. So look at me be wrong on live TV. So I'm gonna go see. Oh, okay, amanveresya.com is already bought up. I already own it. Hey, amanveresya.dad. Interesting. Okay, if any one of you secretly has my child, please let me know. Okay. Okay, that's a way, way, way complicated joke. Let's not get into that. Okay, so eventually you would go for some sasta domain which would have an XYZ at the end. You can get these domains for like a very cheap price, which is like 170 or 180. This is for like an year. Obviously, the renewal costs are high, but if you want something quick and dirty, dry solution, go for it. Now, the reason I recommend name.com instead of Namecheap is because name.com has better functionality, it has better customer care service if you get stuck somewhere. And also they have an inbuilt URL shortener. So they have partnered with some other company. So you can do that. So yeah, makes sense. Use name.com. But you can also use namecheap.com. Namecheap will, as I said, provide domains for like way, way, way cheaper. You can also do that, but the difference is of 50 rupees, guys. Come on. That's how much you would have spent on impressing your crush by buying her a coffee or him a coffee. So come on, stop, doing that and maybe start working on stuff. Also, my sleep mode got activated. I'm gonna go back to recording mode. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, Harsh, you bring up a really good point. You can also buy emoji domains, guys. Okay. I think that's amazing. I can just buy something like let's just say sunglasses dude. I'm gonna write Aman and then sunglasses dude again and .com. This is a valid domain name. Okay, this is a valid domain name. It gets translated into puny code. Yeah, you can see this is puny code. Uh, it's valid. You can do that. Also, it's very short. In fact, let me change this to something. Uh, and I'm gonna remove .com. It's not that expensive. I'm pretty sure you can. Yeah, .com, $10. That's not much, guys. So wherever it says taken, it's because these domain extensions do not allow puny codes. That's why. But you can just buy sunglasses emoji. Aman where it says sunglasses emoji.com for $10 a year, which is good. This type of domain is available like facebook.com. So that is what we call domain squatting. That's a really good point. Domain squatting, it just means that you buy domains similar to your original domain. So for example, Facebook. So you want to scam people or like, do phishing, you would buy maybe Facebook with, but instead of O, it's zeros. What I'm talking about is this specific thing. So instead of Facebook, I just replace it with two zeros and that's it. It's not gonna be available, guys, because obviously Facebook has thought of this. They would buy this. Why, they are gonna buy it. We can actually check who owns it. Let's just, do a very simple who is oh, messed up. Who is Facebook.com? Who is not found? What even is going on? Okay. Facebook.com. I'm gonna pipe this into less. Let's see. Yeah. Connect to internet. I'm pretty sure it's owned by Meta at this point. Really? Really? Nothing? Nothing at all? So I do one live demo. Yeah, okay. Never mind. I was gonna go into a rant. It's owned by who? Or whom, should I say? Zora, please don't kill me. I made a grammar mistake. Okay. So I think it's owned by Facebook. Yeah, no. Who the frick is Media Elite Holdings Limited? Yeah, well, this is why you don't do live demos because you can't control the output result. I'm wondering who owns Facebook, like, but with three zeros. Is it the same people? No, okay, it's owned by Facebook. Facebook with three O's is owned by Facebook specifically. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know why even we're talking about this. But yeah, that's scam baiting. That's another topic done. That's it. Ta-da! We have reached the conclusion of live stream. If anyone has any questions or whatever, let me know. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. I'm reading chat now. Guys, get a hold on your emotions. Okay. I cannot read half of these. Janil, hey, I already mentioned it at the start of the stream. Maybe after the stream ends, maybe tomorrow you can check the starting of the stream. I've explained it and detailed. So, yeah. Yeah, cool. All right, that's it for today's live stream. Can I make you a website? Oh, sure. OTP bypassing. Uh, okay. Can someone do me a favor and write down all the ideas mentioned or questions mentioned? I would do it, but I'm just too lazy right now. I'm really sorry, guys. It's like 12:05. I've been speaking for like 2 hours at this point. If someone, please, if you're nice enough, just take all the ideas from the chat. I'll try to make a video on it. Try is all I can, you know, say. I honestly don't get much time, and I don't want to jump into, of course, sir, of course, and I don't want to get into commit more than I can handle. Um, but yeah, at least I can promise this much. I'll bring back the podcast. Um, yeah, we'll do podcast. Let's start small. Let's do podcast regularly. It might not be, a podcast is not gonna be live. I I mean we can do it live. That should be fun. I mean, okay, listen. If Linus can do what's it called? The uh Linus Tech Tips. They have a podcast. I keep on forgetting the name. But yeah, the Van Show. Right. So the Van Show podcast is usually live. And they talk for like hours and hours and hours. It's tech related podcast. I can do that, but then next time inform at least one day before. Yeah, listen. Okay, Janil, whatever your question is, please type it. It's fine. Just type the question. Harshal, the thing is the live stream was very impromptu. I mean, I was discussing it with a few of my friends initially that I might do a live stream for Git. The thing was a few of my friends they wanted to learn Git, and I was gonna start teaching them Git. But I had an idea. Why not just do a YouTube live stream, right? And so yeah, that's basically it. I'm doing a YouTube live stream. So my friends, I don't know if they're still watching. They can actually learn GitHub, and yeah, I get content out of it. And then I decided that okay, if it's gonna be a live stream, on my way back from the gym, I was like, oh shit, I need to put it on Instagram, and so I just put it on Instagram. I used to have a big community, and like on Telegram, I would just put up stuff, and then people would just actually there was like a single point where people could get updates about Easterly. At this point, it's just my Instagram, maybe like a few WhatsApp groups with my students. That's the thing. I don't have the time to manage my community right now. And there are many communities. The thing is, I don't want to be pretentious. There are many communities which are more active, which do a lot of things. Uh, Shout out to Pawan. Pawan has an amazing community. You can join his. It's next hub info something. I hold on before I butcher that name. That's not fair to him. I'm gonna check the community. Yeah, it's Nest InfoSec community, right? It's an amazing community for cybersecurity and hacking. But that's it. It's cybersecurity and hacking. So yeah. Yeah, I mean, we also had a study Discord where we used to play games. We used to have like live music and all. I don't have time to manage that. As much as I would love to do that, the moderation and all, it's just too consuming. If anyone is up for the task, go ahead. I mean, if you want to help out with moderation, we can definitely restart Easterdly, on Telegram and on I can share. So what happens on Telegram is you get a lot of cool applications, you get a lot of cool articles and like live streams and all of that stuff. And on Discord, we just have 24/7. There's a bot which is just playing music. So if you just want to listen to music with other people, you can just go on my Discord on Easterdly. You can just study and you can just have the radio playing. Now, mind you, the songs that play are my own playlist from Spotify. But so if someone wants to help out, get in touch with me. And but yeah, that's basically it. I'll hand over most of the controls to you. You'll have to manage moderation, you'll have to manage the community. Obviously, there will be my input, but we can figure something out. If you have experience, chat up with me, and we can figure something out. It doesn't have to be a single person, guys. If there are more people who are up for this, let's get on a call, get on a Zoom meet or whatever, and figure it out. Okay, I'm gonna read the chat for a second and then we're gonna wrap out. Windows 11 WAN remote access and encrypted software crack. Bharat here is just, he's like, yo, how do I become a pirate? Let's do piracy. uh, I don't understand your question with Windows 11 WAN remote access. Do you just mean like you just want to take, like, put a virus on the system and, uh, I don't know, get a VNC access or something? The remote desktop? And encrypted software crack. Yeah, there are a lot of smart people who are good at reverse engineering. I'm not one of them. Uh, you can just find it on torrents out there. I do not. Once again, disclaimer: Easterly does not, or Easterly and or else refers to the entity Aman Veresia, does not condone piracy. Torrenting is not illegal. Piracy is illegal. You know, whatever. So yeah, that's my disclaimer. A few months ago, someone called to my friend, but you're not sure. Just someone. Janelle, that used to happen. It does not. It should not happen anymore. It's when you're just spoofing your caller ID. At this moment, I'm pretty sure the updated software on Android, iPhone, and the way uh, the telecom providers are working, it should be next to impossible to do call spoofing for free, at least. If you pay money, it's still possible. You can still do call spoofing till a certain aspect. You would be surprised the way the call spoofing protocol works, but it's possible. It's just call spoofing. Don't think much about it. It's just like OTP attack, OTP bombing, or SMS bombing, or whatever you call it. It's fine. It's just a prank. If someone uses maliciously, listen. If you ever get a call from someone who's claiming to be a certain customer care, and you feel that it's not genuine, and you feel that it's a spoofed call, a very, very, very simple option is just tell them, "Hey, I'll call you back." Because when you call back on that number, that will go to the actual customer care and not to them. Recently, people were asking for ransom. That, hey, so you would get, for example, if I was a dad, if a big if, let's say, and I get a call from my son, and on my phone it says my son is calling me, right? But and the kidnapper is like, hey, we have your son, we have kidnapped him. I mean, I would just say keep him. But and they are like, yeah, yeah, he's here, pay us this much amount of money, whatever, whatever, we'll let him go. And they can just use my son's any audio recording in the background or something. It's very easy to clone voice at this point, and this is an actual attack which happened. I can just search it. Kidnapper spoofing call ransom. Yeah, virtual kidnapping ransom scam. Once again, you can read up on all of this if my internet decides to. Holy shit, this website is slow. So yeah, they have caller may allege your daughter has been kidnapped, and then you hear a female screaming in the background. Another variant was the family member being held caused an auto accident, is injured, and won't be allowed to go to hospital until damages are paid. Blah 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 blah. Simple, just call back. Just call back. That's it. You just cut the call and be like, oh, I'm gonna call you back. And if they insist, if they're like, hey, hey, no, no, stay on the call, that means they are probably scamming you. So yeah. See, so one of the point is callers go on great lengths to keep you on the phone because they wouldn't let go of that, channel that you have with them. So yeah, that's it. Callers prevent you from calling or locating the kidnapped victim. See? Yep, that's basically it. Um, that will be a wrap. I'm gonna future of cybersecurity. Yeah, let's just put it for a future video. I'm just gonna write to do, and that's it. Gotcha, everyone. Thank you for joining. I don't know how we have more viewers than we started at this point. Can we find details during a call? I mean, if you are tight with the telecom provider, sure. As a person, no. Okay. Thank you for joining, everyone. It was nice having you on the stream. If you, one more thing, on Monday, the 8th of April, if you belong to any part of the world which falls in USA or Canada or Brazil, there's going to be a solar eclipse in the afternoon. Please make sure that you watch the solar eclipse. It is happening after a long time, and watching a solar eclipse is like the best thing you can do for yourself. So if you stay in the Northern America region, North America, please, try out if you could watch the solar eclipse. There is a lot more information just online. Go do that. Another thing, thank you for watching. Everyone who is in India or is in IST time zone, it's late. Go to sleep. It's Sunday. I know you're gonna scroll reels. But hey, whatever. Instead of scrolling reels, you understood something new. Don't scroll reels. Don't do doom scrolling. Go to sleep, guys. It's not worth it. And if you're waiting for your crush to reply back, let me assure you, they're just scrolling reels. So whatever. That's it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next live video. Whatever. That's it. Bye bye. I'm gonna be in the chat for a while after the stream ends, so I'm just gonna end the stream right now. But that's it. Thank you. I'll see ya.